Hi lovelies, this video is tips of having a nonverbal toddler. So, as most parents, you kind of want your nonverbal toddler to talk, but before we get into that, I'll get into maintaining your child. The funny thing is when they're infants, you have to guess a lot. So, when you have a nonverbal toddler, which I just learned from my meeting with the autism center, that she is not nonverbal, she's nonvocal. But I hate to say, I'm going to keep saying nonverbal because I guess because she can express herself and say things she doesn't want and wants, that's not considered that she's not nonverbal. She's nonvocal because she doesn't speak. Anyways, I'm going to keep saying nonverbal, but you get the gist. To understand your child's attitudes, if they are out of sorts, give you clues on what's going on with them. So you really have to be really in tune with your child. So if they're sick or if they're hungry or if they're upset, for me, I know she likes routines, but I like routines too because if I know she ate breakfast, I know she ate lunch, and I know she ate dinner with a few snacks, then I know she's not hungry. I would never ever want to starve my kid. So that is very important to me that I stay on schedule when she eats. Because she can't convey to me that she's hungry. Now, granted, she can go to the refrigerator and pick things out, which she has done. So I was late with her dinner one day, and she went into the refrigerator and got a piece of cheese and was chomping on the cheese. So clearly, she's indicating she's hungry, but she's not saying, "Mommy, I'm hungry." So you need to be in tune with your child. Soothing techniques. When they have a meltdown or a hard day or something's going on and you can't figure out how to soothe them, does that mean rub their back? Does that mean give them a pacifier? And yes, I hate the shameful looks when I give my older toddler a pacifier in public, but shit, you gotta do what you gotta do, and I don't give a damn. I need to do what I have to do to soothe my child. And since mine has mouthing issues and mouthing sensory issues, to have a pacifier does soothe her, and if the shit works, it works. So soothing techniques, what works for your child to calm them down. It could be different from each kid, and you need to know what works for yours. So I would try different techniques to see what works in a pinch, especially if you need to do it in a stressful situation. When your child's out in the world at school, make sure the way you sent them to school is the way they came back from school. Meaning, when I give my child a bath, I look at her entire body to make sure that there's no bruises, no cuts, no nothing. You know what I mean? So that is my time in the bath to take a look once over, so that if she goes to school the next day, and because she gets a bath every night, if something looks suspicious, that I can alert them to it immediately. So definitely take an inventory of your child's body to see if there's any scratches, bruises, or whatever. Because they're nonverbal, they cannot tell you if somebody's messing with them or if something's going on. So you have to look for physical clues. All right, so this is about the verbalization and trying to get your child to talk. So this is what the speech therapist told me to do. Imitate your child. They make a sound, you try to repeat the sound. So you try to repeat the same sound they have. Now my issue is my daughter doesn't repeat. So we're trying to get her to repeat, because that's how you learn how to talk, is to repeat, but she refuses. So we're working on that. Leave space for your child to talk. So ask them a question and leave space for them to answer, like, "How are you doing?" I mean, you might be sitting there in silence for a second, but you need to leave space for them to interject and talk back to you. Use simple language like 2-word directions or ask them to do things. So now I have required her to do more. It's easy for me to do things for her, but now I have required for her to do things with directions. So when she takes a bath, I require her to take off her pants, take off her shirt, take off her diaper, do all that. Even though we're sitting there for several minutes and she's like, "You do it." Like, I can see the look on her face and she's like, "You do it. Why am I doing this?" But eventually she gets it. And I'm requiring more of her to be coordinated to her age. Use nonverbal language like the PEC system, which is the picture system, picture exchange system, sign language, pointing, or gestures. So use all that, because the reason these children are frustrated is because you don't know exactly what they want and need, and then they get frustrated, which anybody would. So you need to use these nonverbal keys to try to figure out what your child's wants, desires, and needs. Keep talking and describe everything. Put a label on everything. Don't just say pick it up. Say pick up tablet, or pick up yogurt, or pick up juice, because that is going to increase their vocabulary and understanding. So describe everything. Okay, so this is my last one. Eye contact is important. If they're not looking at you and seeing what you're doing, then they're not going to repeat you or understand. So if they're looking like this, go down to their level and say, do you want juice? And have the juice. And they also have like two options. Say, do you want juice or do you want applesauce? And get them to point to which one they want. So this is starting with communication and labeling things and getting closer to hopefully your child being vocal instead of non-vocal, or not non-verbal anymore. Like, comment, subscribe, holla back.